Did you say that?
Yes, sir. That's based on work as a member of the IPCC. Our research suggested that reducing our footprint in terms of total spatial footprint would have significant impacts on the decarbonization of the built environment.
And so you're saying that people should live in smaller houses because larger houses contribute to CO2 emissions?
100%, Senator.
Okay. Well, recently, Tulane finished the Commons. It was 77,000 square feet, $55 million. Recently, Tulane finished the Gold Ring Woldenberg Business Complex, $35 million to complete, 92,000 square feet. Boy, that's a McMansion.
A McMansion. It reminds me of that saying, rules for thee and not for me. People are just tired of the hypocrisy. Welcome back to another MAGA Meme Monday, guys. We're going to look at this week's news in memes, and then I'm going to take a look at the memes that you guys tagged me in at the end. So let's get into it.
Why? He had this meme on his phone, Minister. A young Norwegian tourist detained by ICE at Newark Airport and sent back to Oslo. A meme depicting Vice President JD Vance as a baby. I mean, extraordinary, extraordinary. That a young person with this amusing meme on their phone depicting a public person, that this would be used as an excuse to detain him for 5 hours and then deport him back to Oslo.
Do you know how many JD Vance memes I have on my phone? I would be screwed. So yeah, guys, I think I'm going to get in trouble because allegedly a 21-year-old Norwegian tourist was refused entry into the US, detained and deported back home after ICE officers found a JD Vance meme on his phone. Now, I also heard that he had admitted to drug use, so I'm not sure if he was actually deported for the meme. But of course, this has brought about another flurry of our favorite JD Vance memes. And somebody mentioned in the last video that they were missing the JD Vance memes, so here they are. One does not simply walk into the USA with a meme. Please have your passports ready and unlock your phones. Meme checkpoint. Family comes first, everything else can wait. Oh, look at him. He's gorgeous. Apparently we're trending in Europe. Ursula Vance. If he was genuinely turned away for just a meme, I would say a lot of us would agree that that's a bit much. You know, can you imagine? I would probably be locked up forever with all my memes. But you know, things can be a little bit funny when it comes to travel. Grandfather banned from US holiday after accidentally ticking terrorist box on visa form. So, are you a terrorist? Yes, no. And he clicked yes accidentally, but it turned out that he wasn't a terrorist. So, traveling can be confusing in that way, especially if you are a terrorist. Can you imagine how difficult it is then? I don't know why that question is on the form in the first place. It's important to double check before you press the button, right?
And the president looks over at me, puts the foreign leader on mute and says, "This is not going very well," and he presses the red button. My eyes get really big, and I'm like, "Mr. President, you know, what just happened?" And he looks at me and he goes, "Nuclear." Nuclear. And 2 minutes later, a guy walks in with a Diet Coke, and he looks back at me and he says, "It wasn't nuclear, it's just the Diet Coke button." And that's... So that's the kind of guy, and my fellow Republicans, that we have as the President of the United States.
Puppy Up has joined the conversation. She wanted to join the video. This is Puppy. Jeff Bezos' wedding in Italy was met with huge protests this week. They hurled this Jeff Bezos dummy into the canal. Reports say the Amazon boss was forced to relocate the ceremony as the backlash boiled over in the streets and in the water. And it wasn't just the locals who were not happy with them taking over the town for their wedding. Even Mother Nature herself had something to say. Mother Nature said, "Not tonight, Satan," to the Bezos pre-wedding party in Venice. That was the weather. Well, I hear that is good luck, right? Of course, we can't forget that the week started with Trump's F-bomb, which then got turned into a remix.
Don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Trump got called daddy this week. Don't know what more I can say.
I mean, we may do papers on it, Marco. Maybe we're going to do papers. I don't even know if you need them. They're not going to be fighting each other. They've had it. They've had a big fight, like two kids in a schoolyard. You know, they fight like hell. You can't stop them. Let them fight for about 2-3 minutes. Then it's easier to stop them.
And then Daddy has to sometimes use strong language.
You have to use strong language. Every once in a while, you have to use a certain word.
I think we have to join the others.
Go ahead, give my mic. Hello.
Deborah Haynes from Sky News.
Good.
Mark Rutte, the NATO chief, who is your friend, he called you daddy earlier. Do you regard your NATO allies as kind of children?
No, he likes me. I think he likes me. If he doesn't, I'll let you know. I'll come back and I'll hit him hard, okay? No? He did it very affectionate. He, daddy, you're my daddy.
I think because of the daddy comment, a lot of people missed this kind of close call of a moment where Trump says, go ahead, back white.
Go ahead, back white, yeah.
And then he pauses and he realizes that sounds like he's talking about the skin color and he's like, white jacket. Because, you know, the media would have run with that one if they could have.
Mark Rutte, the NATO chief, who is your friend, he called you daddy earlier. Do you regard your NATO allies as kind of children?
No, he likes me. I think he likes me. If he doesn't, I'll let you know. I'll come back and I'll hit him hard, okay? No? He did it very affectionate. He, daddy, you're my daddy.
Of course, the White House didn't let this opportunity pass. They shared this song, and I can only share like a couple of seconds of it because of copyright, but I'll link it in the description if you want to watch the whole thing.
You're it. Stop! I don't want to play anymore. Stop. Jeez.
Were they from Iran but talking English? The real question is, how the freak are they on the 13th month? I thought we had 12 months. I didn't know different countries had more months than us. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even know that. What the freak? What month would that be? They got it. What month? I can't even try to think of a new month. I can't think of a new month. I ain't gonna care.
So a lot of people don't know this, but outside of America, we do actually have a 13th month. It's called Onzember. So yeah, you learn something new every day.
Dude, it's so nice just like having a day at the beach, you know? Oh, shoot. What? Did you hear that the U.S. just bombed Iran? What? Yeah, the president just posted about it 2 minutes ago. How would I have heard that? Looks like we're at war now. Dude, you couldn't have just let me enjoy this for like 5 more minutes. The stock market's not gonna like this. We'll probably get drafted to the military. I'll probably go Navy. Okay, I have to call my mom, dude. Sick.
This is so me. I'm not very fun to hang out with. Hi, can I get a ceasefire? Sure. She's not interested. So silly. Another weird one was the Iran Times is sharing memes now. Memes just transcend all cultures and borders. So here's their meme. It's alright. It's alright. It's not bad. It's not the worst. Not the best meme I've ever seen, but definitely not the worst. Iraq is building a nuke. I need 500,000 troops, 8 years, and $2 trillion. Iran is building a nuke. Give me 10, 20-year-old pilots and 45 minutes in Iranian airspace. That face says it all. Again, I can't really share these because of the copyright, but there have been some... They're funny, you know. I know they offend some people, but it is funny, okay? We've had Trump sharing bomb, 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 Iran. Bomb, 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 Iran. It's terrible, but it is funny. And we also got Iran so far away. It's witty.
But the legend of the rent was way past due. And then, Katie, you come in with the bass.
Yeah, if you need to come across as crazy, definitely use Jack Black as a reference. And then in the end, Trump finally got all of the tensions to calm down by posting this. That put all the leaders into their place. Non-binary people, when they realize they're getting hit with a miss-aisle and not a they-aisle. That is so lame. Such a lame joke.
Why are you wearing a horse head in my courtroom?
This is how I identify myself.
Did you just say that you're a horse?
Yes.
I thought this was a joke, and I thought this was just like a meme, but no, a blind man, Mr. Hitler, was put by the Biden administration to be the director of the government oversight. And now he's testifying that he did not see any fraud. And now you guys could only imagine the memes and the people that are saying Democrats have literally put a blind man to testify that he saw no misuse of a government funds. How is this real life? And I know some people find it funny, but it almost makes me wonder, did the Biden administration and the Democrats on purposely put a blind man to oversee all of these transfers and all of these transactions? And was this their plan all along, to just have him testify, well, I didn't see anything?
I think that they were just so pro DEI and they were so blinded by hiring people just for the show of like, oh, I'm so virtuous. It's easy to forget how much things have changed. Here is Trump versus Biden.
By the way, so many questions. Should we keep this going, Pam? This is the opposite of Biden. Biden would take a half a question and he'd leave without answering it. Go ahead.
I better not start the questions. I'll get in trouble.
What's your message for Super Tuesday voters? Everyone please move this way. Super Tuesday, sir, do you have a message for voters? Thanks, come on.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Very sad.
So much, President Trump. Illegal crossings in the border are zero now.
Zero. Does everyone hear that? Trump 2028.
Do you intend, President Trump?
Who's that guy? I like him. He's working the cameras.
See, we never saw Biden get shout outs like that during press conferences, but then again, he didn't do any, so.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the...
And if anyone's wondering what's up with Hunter Biden these days, apparently he's now being sued for unpaid legal fees by Winston and Strawn. And Scott Adams said, I'm starting to think his art career wasn't 100% legit. You think? Elon Musk's Robo taxis launched this week and they were put to the ultimate test, which is apparently Terry Black's parking lot.
We just got dropped off and we're at the Terry Black's parking lot and there's the Robo taxi trying to get himself out. So we got the Robo taxi getting himself out and we got the Waymo waiting for pedestrians. So there's a little bit of a traffic jam here, but I don't know if the car's been hailed. I'm sure it's on its next ride with its safety operator. That safety operator is not doing anything. He's just along for the ride, enjoying the 66-degree air conditioner. And as he pulls up, it's just inching forward and waiting its turn. Now, see that Robo taxi? See, this gentleman's waving at the robot. That's just a robot followed by another robot. And, you know, you can wave at robots all day long and it's not going to do anything. Very carefully, the Model Y, he's got his right blinker on. I'm going to get out of the way so I'm not actually obstructing anything. And now here it's joining traffic. And you can see it's got its gap right there and bam, it's gone. Easy peasy.
And some people are wondering what this means for the future.
In 20 years, I'll probably be like, no child of mine is marrying an AI chatbot. Marriage is between two humans only. And my kids will be like, oh my gosh, Mom, you're so robophobic.
That's actually kind of disturbing to think about. Daisy posted this week saying, hey guys, this is me in both pics. Just clarifying again, I'm female. I know there are people who it wasn't just a trend and they just had that in their heart and they're going to stick by it for their lives. But there's going to be a lot of people who regret the changes that they made and some of the things they did may not be reversible. So I just send my love out to them.
You know, we are a predominantly white firm, but every year we like to hire a small number of ethnic people to show that we're an equal opportunity employer.
As a TLH, you'll be expected to walk around the building so our clients can see you, as well as appear in our brochures with other minority employees.
So you don't actually
want me to be doing any real work.
God, no. That's what the white guys are for.
You just relax and look ethnic.
Oh, one thing, though, and I don't want to sound rude, but is there any way you could become a shade browner?
A shade browner?
Yeah, I was thinking a spray tan before you start.
Not too much, though. We've already got our African.
Oh, and another thing, is there any way you could get one of those, what are they, turbans and some robes to wear around the office? And maybe get little red dots on your head. They're cute, aren't they?
Yeah, look, I'm Muslim. You're thinking of Hindus.
Aren't they the same thing?
Look, have you even read my CV?
No.
Yeah. All right, well, thanks anyway. Have a nice day.
Starting salary is $175,000 a year plus a company car.
It's an Audi A5.
Look, what colour robes did you have in mind?
What I love about this one is it actually really highlights the fact that so much about what the Democrats were pushing and about DEI is inherently racist. It's unbelievably racist.
This is what happens when you have a quantity of something and then you add more to it. This is dilution. The principle is so simple that a child can understand. And you can create this little science project at home. Sorry, you can have your tea back. But the principle is called dilution. And when you print $5 trillion and you put it into the economy, you have diluted the value of the money. So for instance, if you had a minimum wage at some amount and somebody was making minimum wage and they were still making minimum wage after this money was printed, they actually are making considerably less in terms of real dollars. It's dilution. So the $5 trillion that we printed, I would argue, is the primary source of inflation. You know, we can say, well, eggs went up because feed went up, fuel went up because there's a war in Ukraine. You can find a lot of excuses for various different industries. But what is the probability that every price went up all at the same time? You can't blame them on specific supply chain problems. The thing
how do you explain the global?
Yes, I'm glad you asked me that, Professor Raskin. Because they did the same thing in Europe. They did this everywhere. They printed their own equivalents of the Federal Reserve and treasuries, created their own money out of thin air. It may be the only thing that saved our dollar is that everybody else did the same thing to their currency. And so the question is, right now we're coming up on the debt limit. Why isn't anybody proposing to print more money? Why aren't the economists proposing to print more money? Because it is poison. When you print money, it is poison to our economy, and it is.
It's very difficult when you feel like you're just trying to chase the inflation, and then year after year, your wage isn't going up to represent that, and it's just crazy that it's allowed to happen, really. I just think we have to be able to disagree with each other and hash it out. This meme I saw this week I really liked. You're either with us or you're against us. What if I don't pick sides, but critically examine both and come to a nuanced, informed, unique, individual opinion? Kill the traitor! But you know, it happens. It actually happens. Me with my firstborn when I'm finally financially stable. It's very relatable. You know, we have to reel back our expectations these days. We really do. Here's someone's goals, January through June 2025. Buy a carpet. Yeah, save $10. Buy a new phone case. Live. And mind my own business. Yep. They're all relatively achievable. Still ambitious, but most would be achievable, I'd say. Given the current climate.
Ever notice how every time a Republican takes office, the Democrats start acting like it's the end of the world? I mean, the minute we cut taxes or trim the budget, they start screaming that the sky is falling. Now, don't get me wrong. I admire their consistency. If the stock market surges, they say it's just helping the rich. And if it crashes, they say, yep, that's what happens under Republican leadership. And don't even get me started on foreign policy. A Republican president could be shaking hands with world leaders and signing peace deals, and they'd say, it must be appeasement. But the minute there's tension overseas, They rush to the nearest camera like it's Black Friday saying, "See, we told you the world would catch fire if he was in charge." Now, I've always said, it's fine to disagree on policy. That's democracy. But if your best shot at winning is hoping the American people lose, well, maybe...
Many years later, this is exactly what's happened. Donald Trump could be giving away $1 million to every single household, and they would still say something like, well, I wanted $2 million instead of one. Truth is, they'll never be happy as long as the Republican president is in office.
Yeah, and you know, I'm a big advocate of free speech. I think it's super important, even when we disagree with each other. But disagreeing for the sake of disagreeing gets us nowhere. There's been a lot of controversy this week as well over Zoran Mamdani winning the New York mayoral primary for the Democrats.
Are you guys ready to take back New York City? Yes. Are you ready to make NYC more affordable? Yes. Even though none of you pay your own rent anyway? Yes. Do you guys hate your parents? Yes. Even though they paid for your college education where you learned all these ideas? Yes. Are you ready to get rid of all Zionists in New York City? Yes. Even though, of course, the majority of them are Jewish, but we'll call them Zionists. Yes. Are you ready to not arrest violent criminals in the streets of New York? Yes. But we will arrest Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. Yes. Are you ready to turn NYC into San Francisco? Yes. Are you ready to take power away from corporations and billionaires? Yes. And instead give that power to politicians to rule over you by force? Yes. Oh my God, yes. Are you ready to eliminate luxuries in your life like matcha tea, smoothies, and hot yoga? No. Are you ready to pay your fair share and higher taxes? No. So it's only other people's money that we're going to use, not yours. Yeah.
JD Vance is still having great fun this week trolling Blue Sky. His latest post is, "Congratulations to the new leader of the Democratic Party, Zoran Mamdani." People aren't responding as well as I would have expected. And back on the topic of free speech, some crazy stuff came out of Glastonbury this week, and we have been seeing some people questioning whether free speech is a good thing. Do I believe in free speech? Yes. Do I believe in cancel culture? No. A few moments later, I say we ban Glastonbury. Here's food for thought. This is a good and frightening point. Name a TV show in the past 15 years that shows married couple with without kids. The man is painted as the provider, leader, and well respected by the family and peers. The man is intelligent, has his house in order, and cares about his health. I'll wait. And I thought about this, I couldn't think of anything. I was actually really shocked by the show that people suggested. So, does anyone have any guess what people would have suggested? People over and over suggested Breaking Bad, which I was like, wow, okay, people are having to stretch a little bit. It's just an interesting thought because television is so often used as a way to influence how society views things. This week, a fireworks shop caught on fire. Hopefully nobody was harmed. Very, very crazy thing to see. This child built a beehive.
So this is my indoor beehive. I designed this in Onshape and 3D printed it, and I cut the back out on a CNC router that my neighbor has. The bees get in through this ventilation tube that leads out to this attachment in my window. The bees can drink through this little dish here that leads to a channel, which leads to kind of another dish outside where they can land and get their water. Each hive has 3 sheets of plastic foundation. So that's 6 altogether. This beehive is modular, so you can take out a door and attach more on. And I'm now currently working on a honey extraction system. Like, I'm gonna add some flow frames on this wall connected to there.
Very impressive. And speaking of impressive, this person created next level bird watching. I'm genuinely impressed by the creativity here. Life goals: to be as unbothered as a capybara. He's really living it up. Before I go on to the memes that you guys tagged me in, let's just end this with a dad joke. Japan University offers ninja studies degree. I didn't see you in class yesterday. Thanks, sir. Okay, so I haven't looked at these yet, but let's have a look at what you guys tagged me in. Dragon Ball Z. The Orange Man. Oh. What?
Well, Sal, looks like we have a business opportunity. A what?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I have arrived. The best fighter, the best hair, quite frankly, the best everything possibly ever.
Kermit, why is there an orange man with perfectly coiffed hair in my arena? This is Donald Trump, Sal, President of the United States of America.
I've heard a lot about you, Sal. You're a loser, a total disaster. You absorb people with your little booty struts. Disgusting. Very un-American, if you ask me.
You know I can wipe out civilizations, right?
Fake news, fake news. Destruction this, destruction that. I've ended stock markets with one tweet, Sal. Okay? China cried. Elon panicked. It's not even close.
What do you want, Orange Man?
Listen, Sal, I've come to strike a deal. A very good deal. The greatest deal. You, me, wall. We build around this arena. Keep the Saiyans out, especially the illegal ones. You know which ones I mean.
I'm sorry, are you calling Vegeta's people undocumented aliens?
Yeah, JD calls them intergalactic invaders.
That was awesome. That was like my childhood world and my adult world colliding. A federal judge rules that Trump dropping an F-bomb without consulting Congress is unconstitutional. Yeah, CNN reported on that. Sure, no problem. Former McDonald's employee saves free world from Iranian nuclear threat. He's come so far. He's come so far. Democrats are the biggest tantrum-throwing toddlers there are, no question. They are the party of intolerance. Change my mind. No, we're not. Isn't it strange, the better our country does, the more upset leftists get? It is strange. Very peculiar. Save us. Gavin Wood. An eerie prediction of the near future. The incredible Trump. New York City, 43.5% for Zamdani. Dumb and Dumber. Oh. The masses are asses. I could probably agree with that. That's probably true. What California has in common with Iran? Iran obtaining the bomb is to California getting a monorail. Never gonna happen. Liberals now claim that if MAGA supporters had the choice between protecting their dog and a refugee, they would choose their dog. I would probably choose my dog over a lot of people. Sorry. But how do you talk without a brain? Oh, I'm a liberal. Oh, that's a good one. You guys are mean sometimes. Very mean. The state of bread in America starts at 1:45. Okay.
You get a little ketchup spill on your countertop? Don't worry about it. This sponges it right up. Whoa! Isn't that amazing? Hey, we're ready for the next task. You got a little dirt on your feet? No problem. You've been wearing your flip-flops? This just gets the dirt right off. Ooh, look at a little raisin came off of that one.
Oh wow, it actually works very well.
Jam on the arm? No problem. It comes right off with our Julian sponge.
I've seen a lot this week about bread. People are bringing attention to the fact that the bread really is very, very unhealthy in America. I think bread worldwide has become more unhealthy over the years. You know, it's much harder to access like good quality bread, and it's not very good for us. Not so good for us anymore. Oh, it's like Vinny. So sweet.
We don't have avenues for people to come here legally to work or to build a home here. I'm going to be really crude right now. We're not going to have anybody around to wipe our asses.
Becky Fallon, she's raging with scorn. Her words leave America tattered and torn. A mouthpiece for chaos, her venomous flood, drowning the nation in lies and bad blood. She fawns over truing our kids sick and cruel, warping young minds in a delusional school. She calls riots protests with a wink and a grin, while flames burn our streets and she's all in for sin.
Music and songwriting is a great way to get a message across. I'm going to leave the link to the full video in the description. So last week I forgot to do the ABCs of MAGA. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. So let's just do a little catch up. To make it worse, there were 2 posted last week that I missed. So let's have a look. It's I. The letter is I this week. Make America intelligent again. And make America inflation free again. Ooh, that's a good one. I like those, but I'm going to try to come up with something different. Make America industrious again. Make America incredible again. Does anybody else have an I letter that they want for America? That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed these memes. I just wanted to give a big shout out to Pablo, who became a member of my Buy Me a Coffee channel. Thank you so, so much. He said, Emily, you're a breath of fresh air. The 67-year-old retired man enjoys your show so much. You bring sanity to this world. I am so delighted to hear that. Thank you so much, Pablo. I'm so glad that you're enjoying it. If anybody wants the chance to have a meme or a video appear in one of these episodes, then tag me on X. I'll leave the link in the description. And otherwise, I'll see you guys next time.